to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe to toe with me on that?
You've completely, like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, everybody, welcome to the Spurs Five. How are you doing? Welcome. Good evening, good morning, depending what part of the world you're tuning in from. Thanks for joining us. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And before you ask, where is everybody? Johnny is eating sushi in Japan. Sean has called in sick. So it's just Lubo and I. But we do have two guests that we are going to bring on. So it will be four of us. Sorry that the other guys aren't here. Not much we can do about it this week, but we have plenty to talk about. So stay tuned in. Lubo, how you doing? You good?
All good, thanks. Yeah, just back. Managed to get out of your cave. Signed the delegation papers, because my wife was searching all over Cyprus for me, so I managed to get out. But no, nice to be back. Good to be back. Thoroughly enjoyed Cyprus, and here we are. Here we are. Did
you engrave your name on one of the bricks in the background like all the other inmates? Or did you?
Lubo was here. Yeah. In between the in out, leave out ones that have been inscribed in there already.
Yeah, I don't know who done those. I've got no idea who did those ones. Just a bit of quick remindage. If you are looking for any sports apparel, any sportswear, any garments, down below, OK Jersey. The code is 5 FIVE. Get your 8% off. There will be some new shirts coming out soon because the pre-season will begin. So keep an eye out for all the new stuff that's coming soon as well. But until then, OK Jersey, that's the place to get your merch. Should we bring in the guests, Lubo, one by one?
Yeah, why not?
All righty. I wonder who is on the show this week. Who could it possibly be? Ah! It's Rain. Rain, welcome. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. I didn't know if it was going to be me or not. I didn't know which was it was going to be. I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good. Looking forward to Am I looking forward to Spurs this weekend? It's been quite a nice little break, isn't it? It's been quite a nice little, not all of us have had the blazing sun that Lubo's had in our break, but it's been quite nice in the UK. It's been quite pleasant.
So. I think it's been a fantastic few weeks. Spurs haven't lost because we haven't played. Arsenal have been dumped out of 2 potential cups. It's been a fantastic 3 weeks. I don't know what any other Spurs fan could ask for. It's been brilliant. But we will get into
absolutely
the news.
Yeah. The only shame is that they got a little bit of a result against Sporting, but the clang that came down on we're going to win the quadruple, it's been quite pleasant, hasn't it?
They're under pressure to win something. They've got to win something. Let's see what they do. We do have another guest. I wonder who the second guest could be. It's chicken. Oh, sorry. It's Barry Royale.
Oh, well, I was going to leave you alone tonight, Stel, but looks like I've got my list for you as well ready. So there we go. Just put a little note there. Note it down.
It's fine. It's the chicken Royale lover. It's Barry.
Wow.
How you doing, Barry? You good?
The problems did all start when he left, but I'll leave that there. We won't go into that. No, I'm good. I'm good. But Rain, I would like to correct you, sir. Arsenal can do the quad because they can finish fourth. They can finish second 4 seasons in a row. So that is also a quad. So the quad is still on for all those gooners out there.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I'll tell you what. If anyhow they bottle the league with a 9-point lead, I mean, can I look? I know this isn't an Arsenal channel. Can I ask you guys a quick question? Actually, if Spurs avoid relegation, okay, let's say last game of the season, we get a win and we stay up on goal difference or by 1 point, whatever it takes. Right? Let's pretend Spurs stay up and Arsenal end the season with nothing. Who's actually had the worst season? Would it be us or them?
I think it's still us. Still, although obviously, if we avoid, if we avoid relegation, then that's just destroying our long-term future. Obviously, no, I think we still have break. I don't know. It certainly is
Ray,
us.
let me ask you a question. Ray, let me ask you a question. Right?
No, I'm thinking about it.
Which fan base would feel more devastated, gutted, and feel like they've completely screwed up the season? Would it be them or us?
Them.
Yeah, it's going to be them, isn't it? Because at the moment, if we avoid relegation, I'm going to be cock-a-hoop. I'm going to be absolutely over the moon.
Rain, just picture this, right? Picture this. A few weeks ago, we were saying it's over. Tudor's taking us down. We're going to get relegated at Chelsea. Arsenal are going to win multiple trophies. Now, a week's a long time in football. Now, flip it the other way. West Ham get relegated. We stay up, and Arsenal win nothing. Just flip it that way around.
Well, they say things go in threes, so let's keep our fingers crossed. It would be.
I think.
Still, it'll be the ultimate in underachievement if Arsenal didn't win a trophy this season. With the season they've had, and they've been at the top pretty much the whole season, haven't they? Can't remember them not being on. Honestly, I can't remember them not being on. I think Liverpool won their first 5, didn't they? And after that, I think Arsenal took over. I think Liverpool then lost 5 out of the next 6 out of 7, and it's been Arsenal at the top ever since. So it'd be massive underachievement. I'm not sure. Having seen the football over this week, I don't think anybody would expect Arsenal to win the Champions League. But I think they're still red hot favourites for the league, for the Premier League. You would expect them to win it. Unfortunately,
I think if we stay up and Arsenal win nothing, they would have had by far the worst season. Actually, not by far. They would have had the worst season. To win nothing after buying Gyökeres, Eze, Nketiah, Zubimendi, the final pieces to the jigsaw, to win nothing, and we won that Europa last year. Sorry, their fans are going to get it from us, and it'll be an unbelievable turnaround because we've been getting it all season. Rightly so. We deserve what we've been getting, but listen, I'll have a field day with it. I'll just run with the line of, but we won the same as you, nothing. You've done exactly the same as us, nothing. I would just run with that line for the whole of the summer.
Well, listen, if you're talking trophies, 2nd and 17th is exactly the same, isn't it? Pretty much. So
that's what I'm saying to you is that
time will tell. Time will tell.
Just guys, can I just check if you got anything in your cups? Just make sure it's not alcoholic, yeah, because we don't want any meltdowns like we've seen on other channels the last few days. Just putting it out there.
I don't even know what that means. The only concern if we try to banter them, and I think we'd be within our rights to banter them, is it is 8-2 this season. I hate to say it, but it is. Maybe we smirk at them rather.
No, Rain, no. We do not let them off the hook. They are getting cooked. If they do not win anything, they are. I don't care that we're in 17th. I don't care if we never win a game to the end of the season. If they don't win anything, we have to go after them All of them.
Well,
I don't care.
I actually messaged Change for Tottenham, and I said to them, if Arsenal win nothing this season and we stay up, I want us to do an end of season North London is ours parade. I want a bus parade to just rub it in their faces, because we don't need an excuse to have a parade, right? We just have a parade just for the sake of it. So I want an end of season bus parade that North London is ours if they win nothing and we stay up. I think
Moving on, sinking very nicely
for that. I would actually go back to England for that.
Still sinking very nicely in. There have been talks with the club about having another fans parade for the Brighton match.
Oh,
so
you seen
Can we wait and see what happens against Sunderland first?
Have you seen the comments that were on there when that was on there? They weren't
surely we would. Surely we should see what happens after this weekend before discussing what we do against Brighton. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I thought it had been agreed. I thought it had all been sorted.
What, for Brighton?
And as someone, my views are known. I wasn't a fan of the parade. I understand why people did it. I understand that people want to be happy, you know, and understand that people think that generating. I understand all that, but personally, I didn't want to partake, and I didn't really think it was a very good idea. Support inside the stadium, fine, but why wouldn't the club want to do it when they had record revenues, record beer revenues before the game? Why wouldn't the club want to encourage it?
I think a lot depends on Sunday's results. Personally, I think if that goes the wrong way, and West Ham get a result tomorrow night, it's going to put an awful lot of pressure then on the team. I just think it's all about fans getting behind the team in the stadium. I don't think,
but they can do what they did last time, Lubo. They can send an empty bus through the crowd. just send the decoy bus through the crowd.
In fairness, Johnny did confirm that the players were on the bus. So
yeah. Any evidence, or is it just
jovius? No, listen. His pals are one of the players' agents, and the player confirmed that I think there was one or two photos taken from inside the bus. So
a text message.
So yeah. So we've got to go with that. So
unfortunately, unless one of us is on the bus, we don't believe that the bus was for the players. That's what we're saying.
I just want evidence. All I've asked for is there any evidence? That's all I've asked for.
No. Yeah. Nothing. It's gone silent. It's gone silent like Trump after, he's got his way.
Let's talk Tottenham.
Yeah.
So a couple of days ago, I think it was yesterday, it might have been the day before, it was officially 100 days without a win, which is quite unthinkable, but it is factual. 0-0 v Brentford, 1-1 v Sunderland, 3-2 loss to Bournemouth, 2-1 loss to West Ham, a draw at Burnley, a draw against Man City, 2-0 loss to United, 2-0 loss to Newcastle, a thumping against the Scum, 2-1 loss to Fulham, 3-1 loss at home to Palace, 1-1 away at Anfield, which everyone thought was a turning point before the infamous bus parade and the 3-0 drubbing by Forest, which led to the sacking of Tudor. Guys, 100 days of football without a Spurs winning the Premier League. Lubo, you're probably the oldest here to know. I don't know ever that happening in my lifetime.
I think it must be the record or pretty close. I think we went 11 or 12 games, I think, without a win in 93, 94 or 91, 92. It was never this bad. I mean, the relegation year was pretty poor right the way through. But we didn't go 100 days without a win, that's for sure. I mean, this is something that, for me, I look at it. I can't, actually, honestly, I can't get my head around it. I know we've
three
had
more games, Lubo, and we equal 34-35 campaign. That's the record. 16 games without a win.
You know what it is? It's I walked away from Everton. We walked away from the ground. We just won 3-0. End of last week, October. We're third in the table, 17 points from 9 games. And you look at it now, and it's the whole thing's fallen apart. Literally, it's sort of 2 wins in 22.
Lubo, we were third.
I know
we were third after that Everton game,
so,
and that was a quarter of the way through the season. It wasn't like a like 3 or 4 games.
That's right.
It was literally, it was like game week 10 or 11 or something.
And you're looking at it. You're looking at it thinking, we didn't buy enough of the right players in the summer. We ended up replacing most of those. In effect, Sonny was replaced by Kudus. Simmons replaced Madison. Moani replaced Solanke, and we brought Palhinha in. And he was really the only player that we didn't have earmarked in that position previously. So for me, you look at it and you think to yourself, Frank's working wonders here. The football's not great. The football really wasn't superb. The performance at City was excellent, and I just look at it since then, and it's just gone to pieces, hasn't it? You just look at it and you think, how can players that were doing? I mean, I hark back to that City performance; it was superb. You go up to the Etihad.
Can I ask you a question on this? Right, put your hatred for Ange to one side for 1 second. Was it a mistake to sack Ange for Frank? Not to sack Ange, but for Frank. Was that a mistake?
Well, it's in hindsight, Frank underachieved, didn't he? He didn't come up with the goods. He started off very well, and it dropped off. To get rid of Ange, the guy, listen, the guy had lost 22 league games in a season. You can hardly turn around and say, well, fine, give him another go. Let's lose another 22. And the problem there was that he didn't change his system. He saw it wasn't working. He didn't change it. I know he had injuries. I know Frank's had injuries. Most Spurs managers over the last few years have had injuries. But for me, my problem with Ange was always the system, his lack of adaptability, his lack of changing, doing the right thing, when things were going against us, i.e. Brighton last year, 2-0 up, half-time, 3-2 down. And he turned around.
Yeah, but sacking Ange for Frank, Lubo, sacking him for Frank. Like if we brought in Klopp, or if we brought in Enrique, or if we brought in Zerbi, right? We brought in Frank. In hindsight, now that you've seen the season, would you have sacked Ange for Frank? In hindsight, now you've seen.
I still would have sacked Ange. I still would have sacked him. I think
for Frank, Lubo. The question's about for Frank. Would you have sacked him for Frank?
It's interesting because when Frank came in, you looked at it, and Brentford, he'd been manager 9 years. I think he'd been there for 9 years, manager for 7, been in the Premier League for 4, never been in the relegation zone. And you think, do you know what? Brentford have got a capacity of 17,000. It's pretty much, apart from Bournemouth, the lowest in terms of revenue, lowest in terms of wages. And what they've done, Brentford, in staying up, and look at them this year, 5th year in the Premiership, I think. They've done fantastic.
That's without Frank. That's without Thomas Frank.
Without Frank. And what it showed was it's the collective at Brentford. It's the whole system. It's the whole data analysis.
So would you have sacked Ange? Would you have sacked
Ange? If I'd have known, and that for me, that answers why Potter didn't make it either. Coming out of Brighton, because Brighton and Brentford run the same sort of model, I suppose. Coaching model, transfer model, etc., recruitment model, etc. I would have sacked Ange, but I would have thought they should have known. They should have known.
Lubo, would you have sacked Ange?
Yes, I would do. I would have sacked Ange regardless. For me, Ange was done. He was finished. I go to all the games. I walked out of so many matches. How can you actually look at 22 league defeats and say, "Yeah, great, give the guy another chance"? Do me a favor.
So you would have sacked him for Thomas Frank.
100%.
All right.
100%.
Let me ask Raymond Barry. Same
I just
question.
want to say, before you bring the guys in, just want to say, I just want to thank Ange because he took Forest down from 10th to 18th this season. And if he hadn't have been there, then that would have been one less team that we're trying to get above and out of the relegation zone. So thanks, Ange, for
no thanks for the Europa Cup. Thanks for the Forest effort.
I thank the players for the Europa League because they went to Ange and they changed the system, as Mickey told me.
So even though we played the same way in the first leg of all the knockout stages, semi-final and quarters, can I just ask the two guys below?
No,
right, two guys below. Sure. Same question. Look, I'll come to you first, Barry. Then we'll go to Rain. Right. Number one, 100 days without a win. I mean, I don't know what you make of it all. And secondly, now that you know what you know, would you have sacked Ange for Frank?
So look, the 100 days. Look, I don't think it's a surprise if we go back on the last 3 seasons, right? I don't think it's a surprise. Are we shocked in some of those results? I mean, you put them up. I think we're a very arrogant fan base, and this goes back to, I think someone mentioned it the other day, 2023 Brighton, when I think I said it at the time. Oh, it's Brighton. We're going to win 5-1. And then you then came out at the end of the game. I told you guys. I told you all. And we have this arrogance where, like, it's the same thing that's, which worries me about Sunderland. We haven't won a game in 12 games, 13 games. We haven't won in 100 days, but apparently because Zerbi's here, we're just going to go and win at Sunderland. It's mad. To think that we're going to do that based on what we've seen with our eyes. We can drag up all the stats, but what we've seen for not the last 100 days, but the last 3 years has just been awful for whatever reason. Whoever you want to blame, whoever's at fault, the manager, the board, whatever, it's been shocking. And the Ange question, I think we saw everything that we saw of what Lubo mentioned about Forest. I think we'd be in a worse state if we'd kept him. If I'm truthfully honest, although he won the Europa League and everything else, then I still think it was the right decision. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. We can say, was Frank there? You could sit there and say, actually, if Frank was still here and we didn't get rid of him and instead of Tudor would be in a better position, we probably would be in a better position with Frank than we have been with Tudor the last few games. Liverpool in the absolute mud because we were the only ones to take points off them under Tudor. So look, I would say, look, thank you for winning the trophy, but yeah, that was it. So that was it for me. Look, I still would have got rid of him, I think.
Would you have got rid of him for Frank though? That was the question, not whether you'd get rid of him.
Yeah. Because I think that, as I said, I think we'd be in a worse state than we would have been. You imagine these injuries, the high line, all the other bozo things that we saw, and everything else. So yeah, I just think we would be we've seen the injuries. God knows how many times Romero would have got sent off. God knows how many players we'd have been playing on with the high line on the halfway line. It would have been Chelsea. It would have been Chelsea all over again in many games. Those Arsenal results, I think, would have just been. They wouldn't have just been the 4-1s. It would have been horrendous. So, yeah.
There you go. Sorry, still.
Rain, 100 days with no win. Would you have sacked Ange for Frank? What's your take on those two questions?
So obviously the Palace win was away, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so it's got to be what? Yeah. 120-ish since I last saw a win.
Okay.
Which was, I think, Brentford?
No, what the last home win? Yes, was Brentford. December.
Brentford. Yeah.
22. So That would have been 124 days ago.
Yeah. So that's the last time I saw a win at the stadium. Absolutely mad. And considering how many wins we've only had 2, I think. How many home wins have we had this season? 2.
Burnley and Brentford.
Burnley. That's absolutely crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely insane when you put it like that. Yeah. Would I have sacked Ange for Frank? Yes.
Do you know what's insane, Rain? If you look at the cheap.
Have we lost him?
You lost.
Frozen. Yes, I would have sacked Ange Frank because actually, I don't think. I'm going to be very controversial. I don't think Frank was the problem in the way that he coached. I think he certainly. I think he shouldn't have pivoted away from the way that we were playing at the start of the season when we were picking up points. And like I said, we ended up. We were 3rd in October, at the end of October. And I think Frank should have just kept going. He was dealing with a very limited squad, and I think that's the fundamental problem. Ange said it at the end of his tenure. We've got to get more experienced players in here. We've got to get more quality into the squad. That was one of his parting shots. Frank in the summer said the way that this club is doing its transfer business is not what I'm used to. That was a very polite way of saying, these guys are absolutely rubbish. And that's, for me, that's the primary reason why we are where we are. It's because we haven't recruited well. And then when we've had an absolutely abysmal, cataclysmic series of injuries, not only in terms of the number of players, but the length of players. There's a meme going, or there's an X post going out at the moment with Eriksen, isn't there? Christian Eriksen, I'm looking at my screen. Christian Eriksen literally died.
Yes.
259 days he was out. Yeah. Kulusevski, and they said it looks like a slight knock. And he's now been out for 333 days and counting.
Yeah.
It's, Christian Eriksen had to be revived on the pitch. And yet, Kulusevski certainly looks like he's going to be out for longer. And it's I wouldn't bet against Maddison being out for longer than.
Oh yeah, 100%. You've seen the state of each leg is not even the same. So there's no way he's mad.
So for me, absolutely, because I think the major problem with Ange was coaching. I think if Ange hadn't been so arrogant to just go and get 2 rookie coaches to do the training ground, I reckon we might have been all right. But he Frank came in and he had something like 7. He had a team of like 7 coaches who were splattered all over the pitch, all over the areas. Ange had 2. That's all he wanted or needed. I think he needed a lot more. I think he vastly underestimated that aspect of the Premier League.
Jed and that came in, didn't he? They kept Mason there. Chris Davis was there as well, wasn't he? Before he went off to Birmingham. Matt Wells was there as well. He, it's interesting that Ange doesn't bring coaches with him, does he? For him, he wants to teach everybody his style of play. Problem is that unfortunately it worked in lower level leagues. It just didn't work in this league.
Anyway, enough
of
that.
It was. Listen, it was. This season is the culmination.
And finished 5th, so to say it didn't work in this league is a lie.
No, I think we got. I think in terms of where we are now, I think it's a culmination of 9 years of pretty much poor recruitment. You know, there have been some good players that have come in, but by and large, it's been poor.
I think the biggest issue has been the last 2 years. We've had 2 years of injury crises. Ange had an injury crisis last year. Frank had an injury crisis this year, and those injuries compounded on both managers having poor seasons because we've never built a squad big enough to be able to cope with injuries. So that's down to ENIC. ENIC not building a squad is their fault, and you can point the finger at all the football directors, all the board members, and overall, it's the owners. The managers themselves, I don't think Ange is as bad as what we saw last year. I don't think Frank's as bad as what we saw this year. They suffered from not having a squad. So, yes, Ange made mistakes. Yes, Frank made mistakes. But the reason we were in the relegation zone for both managers is because we had an injury crisis for 2 years in a row. Yeah. The issue now we've got is, and let's move on to it. For a lot of fans, you know, Zerbi's now coming in and everyone thinks, right, Zerbi's going to hopefully save us because he plays football the right way, but he's still got the same players. Has he got enough time to coach them to improve and play his way in the next 7 games to pick up the wins we need to stay up and hope West Ham and Forest, you know, lose more than what we win? Because what we found out today is Mohamed Kudus is out for the season, which is, you know, it's a devastating blow for Kudus to now miss the remainder of the season, because for a lot of fans, they were saying, oh, with Kudus coming back, that will help because he fits perfectly into the Zerbi football. Well, he's not coming back. Once again, the injury crisis hits us. Again, you can't blame the manager for this. It's not Zerbi's fault. But, you know, where does that leave us, guys, in your opinion, with Mohamed Kudus now being injured? Suddenly, everyone's looking at the Sunderland game a little bit different because they thought, oh, maybe he'll be back for that one and he'll be a good asset for us to have, because now we are looking at Tell, Solanke, Richie, all the usual players that pretty much do nothing most games. They don't really do that much for us. So where are you at with that one, Rubo? Mohamed Kudus being injured. Is that a massive blow for Tottenham for the rest of the season in terms of trying to stay up?
I think it's a big blow because Kudus's best form was during our first 7-9 games. When first 7 games we had 14 points. We went into the October international window in third. Came out. Unfortunately, I thought we were unlucky to lose against Villa, beat Everton, and then his form seemed to sort of tail off a little bit, and that sort of tied in with a drop off and a gradual drop off in results. For me, I still think we'll stay up. I think it'll be close, but I do think. Listen, there's got to be a manager bounce now, hasn't there? If there isn't a manager bounce, we've got problems. But I do think that De Zerbi will get them. He'll get them working. He'll get them pulling together as a team, and he won't stand for any nonsense. You know, if players are not putting their weight, then he will call them out. And if they're not putting their weight on the pitch, he'll pull them off. He'll hook them. So for me, I think Frank they didn't respect. Tudor they never respected because the guy was here today, gone tomorrow. This guy's come in. I'm sure he's, initially he's got to get them on side. He's got to put an arm around them. He's got to make sure. He's got to win hearts and minds, and he's got to get them playing for him. But he won't stand for any nonsense. So for me, I think we'll see a really good battling performance on Sunday at Sunderland, and I think that's important. Win, lose or draw, we're not relegated and we're not safe at the end of the season.
I think the weekend's going to be very, very, very interesting this weekend.
Yeah.
There has been a couple of weeks for us all to forget just how calamity these players can be, because let's face it, the major problem that we've had. I actually did a thing today. If you go onto Sky Sports, YouTube channel, you can do a playlist of the highlights of the Tottenham games this season. And I went and I rewatched the highlights, the little 5-minute clips for all of our games. And just the sheer number of mistakes that our players make is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's absolutely, you can say what you want about coaching and all of this and all of that, but our players make just so many errors, and it's basics. It's real basic stuff. It's the head on the swivel thing.
Yeah.
It's actually having an awareness of what's around you, and it was the same under Ange. Whether De Zerbi can get into these players and make them remember that they are professional footballers, because they're all, they're all good footballers, and everybody's, our squad isn't as bad as people say it is. Well, actually, it is. But the biggest problem is that these players seem to forget that they're professional footballers. So whether he can get into their heads and get them playing football and not losing their head if they see a calamity around them is what will determine if we stay up or not. Because I tell you, it was a bit of a horror show. I had it on one of my screens today, and I was watching it as I was going, just remembering all of these, all of these disasters throughout the season, and hoping that they won't come back. In a similar way, I've seen lots of people putting Bergvall in their lineup for the Sunderland game, and I think a lot of that's to do with the training video that came out, and it's like we all forget. It's like we all forget that there's this thing called editing, right? So they take like 2 hours worth of footage and they edit it down to like a 10-minute video, and so everybody sees him put his arm around Bergvall twice in the edit, and they're like, oh, he must love Bergvall. Well, no, maybe the person who's doing the editing just thought that those were two good shots. And so everybody's losing their head. He's going to, Bergvall's going to be this, Bergvall's going to be that. Bergvall is still a young lad who makes mistakes on that football pitch. He is part of the squad building problem where we've bought young and promising and developed them whilst they're playing in our first team. And he is still developing. He is still making mistakes because that's what young men do. We don't, and in my head, that's the last thing the last thing we need. What we need are people who are not going to make mistakes. I would quite happily come out of Sunderland with a 0-0, a 1-0, even better.
Yeah.
But, we need to do no wrong.
Yeah, I think it all depends on. Look, the first point of thing you can say is obviously West Ham play Wolves first, right? That's as much as we can say won't have a difference. It is going to have a difference if we're suddenly in the relegation zone. If West Ham nick a result, now I don't know how they're gonna turn up or how they're going to play, considering they went to extra time and penalties in the FA Cup the other day. We haven't played. De Zerbi's had time. Look, what we almost need to do is focus on us, right? And I think the trouble is we won't. If we get distracted by what's going on with everything else, then the players and everyone else will allow it to, the pressure. We know what these players play like under pressure. We know they can't do it. Whether they do that with what Rain's saying about De Zerbi, there is no pressure. There doesn't, I don't know. But I'm just, whatever happens, we can't have we can't be cut adrift after this weekend. And, when we go into the following weekend where we play, we play before the other teams. Well, Leeds play before us, but then we play before Forest and West Ham, who play on the Monday. We need to start hammering that advantage home. I don't know whether this game on Sunday is too soon, and maybe it's the Brighton game at home is the one that we all of a sudden we break all these hoodoos. We win a game of football. We win at home. We play well. We keep a clean sheet. God forbid. I think maybe that is the game that is more important and more key to everything than anything else. I know we've got Leeds, and I know we go to Wolves and everything else, but I think maybe Sunday comes too soon for what we want Zerbi and these players to try and change, because you're not going to change it. We saw what Tudor had the same 10 days before or a week before the Arsenal game, and all right, it's Arsenal, but we didn't see anything different. We actually looked worse. So, I think that, look, to get a draw, Sunderland have lost their last 3 games at home, right? But, there's that Granit Xhaka situation.
Barry, we're going to get onto the Sunderland Spurs game. I just wanted your thoughts on Kudus being out. Is that a massive blow for us for the remaining 7 games?
I don't know, because I don't know if we saw what we can see from Mohamed Kudus before he was injured, right? So,
what do you mean by that?
Is it a blow in terms of having players and options? Yes. Is it a blow in terms of what are we going to do? We know what we're getting? I'm not sure, because I don't know. We saw some good and we saw some bad from Kudus before he got injured, right? So I don't know what. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what we're going to see. Is it, but purely from a squad depth, from an option for someone that can change a game of football, then yes, it does. If he's out for the rest of the season, which I don't think anyone would be surprised about, based on what's happened with Kulu, Solanke, everyone that's supposed to be coming back from injury, has all of a sudden had a setback. I don't think we're surprised at it, but it does. He wouldn't. He wouldn't have been match fit, and you're right, Bill. He wouldn't have been match fit, but if we needed a goal or we needed to change it, and we could change it, then would I rather have Kudus than not have Kudus? And obviously, 100%, I would.
I think it's disappointing he's going to miss Saturday. I think the club have come out and said that he's got to go for another scan. Is that correct? So let's see where he is after that. Listen, it could be that he's back for the last 2 or 3 games of the season and makes a difference. So let's not sort of be too gloom and doom at the moment. It is a setback that he's not going to be there for Sunday, and let's see where it goes from there. At the end of the day, it's down to the players. I think where we need the manager bounce. It's funny, Rain, you mentioned about the amount of errors that the players have made. And a lot of them are unforced errors. A lot of them are loss of concentration. You think about the amounts of goals that have been scored from the edge of the box. I think personally, I think some of that is to do with the injury that Vicario has been carrying for several months. I don't think, again, not clever to keep him playing with a hernia problem. He hardly let a shot particularly in his first year, hardly let a shot in from distance. And he's let in so many this season. And, for me, his form has dipped big time compared to the previous 2 years. And I'm talking about shot stopping, because for me, he's one of the best in the division at shot stopping. And for me, as a goalkeeper, the more I see this playing out from the back with keepers, the more I hate it, the more goals are being conceded. So for me, I will judge a keeper on the amount of saves he makes, and he's getting beaten left, right, and centre from the edge of the box. So,
Lubo, this playing out from the back from a goalkeeper is now starting to infect. I watched Championship as well. Thought I'd get myself ready for next season. No, but I actually quite enjoy watching the Championship, and it's started to infect lower down the leagues. But you know which team will stop doing it first, right? It'll be Man City who stop doing it first. Because Pep's always ahead,
guys,
and everybody just follows him. It absolutely drives me nuts. Absolutely, and I had to relive the Fulham game, Lubo, where with Vicario's clanger. Yeah.
I mean, listen.
Can I say right? Lubo, can I say right? Someone who's coached, there's nothing wrong with playing out from the back. It's perfectly fine. It's knowing how to do it, when to do it, and having the players that can do it. It's when everyone's doing it just for the sake of it, that's when there's problems. Playing out from the back is made to look easy. It looks easy on the eye when it works, but to actually pull it off is far from easy. There's a lot that needs to come together, and most teams aren't equipped or coached to do it well. That's the problem.
Well, firstly, you're asking your 11th best footballer with his feet to start playing like a midfield player who should be one of the best, which is, for me, that's flawed to start with. You've got keepers like Alisson, like Edison, whose passing is absolutely superb. You'll get a handful of them, but it is a very, very small percentage that are that good.
I think, Luba, I think we all watched the, we watched the Champions League game, right? The last 2 nights, right? And you look at, and I know I'm talking about the teams that are there and the games. I mean, both, the Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and the PSG game. I mean, Liverpool were lucky they're still in the tie, because if they'd taken their chance, it'd have been about 8-0 last night. But you just saw how you had better players, you had players that were coached. I mean, that I don't know who it was for PSG last night. The ball just came across. He feinted a little bit on the edge of the box. Slobosly came diving in, and then they were away, right? And that just goes to show that you have to have the players, you have to be coached, and like what Stel was saying. And I don't think that we've just gone, let's just copy the blueprint because it's working for other teams. When actually, if we want to do that, and this is where we'll see the difference maybe, and we'll come on to it, is Kinski's better with his feet. I mean, it didn't really show against Madrid, but in the other games that he's kind of played, I don't know whether that's that's going to be a difference. So, but it's
problem we've got with goalkeepers. Problem we've got with the keepers is, and okay, but Vicario doesn't command his area and isn't great with his feet. Kinski is not a good shot stopper. I'll just go back to the Trossard goal at the Emirates that won the game for them last season, that went under his body. Newcastle, he came out bad judgment call to go for the cross. Should have stayed on his line when Walter got the second goal at St James's Park in October in the Carabao Cup. The goal that went straight through his hands at Villa Park in the first 50
I'm not sure what they saw in him, Lubo. I'm not sure what they saw in him that made them go out, and because at the time they weren't they weren't stellar goalkeepers, but we had two. We had Whiteman and Austin at the time that we got him. Obviously, Whiteman we've let go. Did we still have? I don't know if we still had Forster as well. I think we might have still had Forster as well. So we ended up, I think, with like 5 goalkeepers. Sure. I just don't know why they went and got him.
For me, it was just another flawed piece of recruitment. Didn't understand either. You got Gunter coming through from the academy. Pat Jennings thinks he's absolutely fantastic. Swears by the keeper, evidently. So for me, you've got somebody coming up through the academy that if he's that good, there's got to be a pathway sooner or later for the kids. Might be too young now, but if he's that good, then and who are we to argue with Pat Jennings?
There is no pathway. There is no pathway.
There is no pathway.
There's no pathway. I've spoken about this 100 times. There's no pathway at Spurs. The pathway's broken.
The problem with playing out from the back, Stel, and the way that we do it, and the way that quite a few other teams do it, is that it's formulaic. It's we do this, then we do that, then we do the other. And anyone who's half intelligent goes, well, I know exactly what you're going to do. And if you know exactly what the other team's going to do, then you can try to counter it. Just like Pep did against Arteta. Completely nullified it. Just went, we're just going to sit here halfway to the halfway line, and we're not going to let you pass through us, and we're not going to give you the press that you want, and we're not going to let you do your nice little pass into Rice and Zubimendi, and boom, absolutely nullified. That's the problem with it. It's not the quality; it's the formulaic nature of it.
But then, what you're supposed to do is you send it long to the middle. Your striker drops to the middle to receive. The 2 wide players, they then push forward and then the person that receives the ball facing the goal that they've just where the ball's come from, the fullbacks push up. You lay it off to the fullback who sends it to the wide player that's gone up the flank. So essentially, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're out. So you go over the press if you can't play out from the back. What tends to happen with us is Vicario just whacks it long because we're not coached to play over the press into the wide areas or into the middle to lay it off. This is my frustration because
I think it's worse than that. I think it takes an incredible amount for them to decide to go long and to vary it. They will still ideologically try to play out from the back.
Do you know what's sad? If you go and watch our under 18s, our under 16s, our under 14s, they can all do it. Because it's been drilled into them. Also, there's this myth that I'll play the ball into space. Not really. The reason Xavi and Iniesta were so brilliant at Barca is because they received the ball under pressure and they were comfortable receiving it under pressure, knowing that they wouldn't lose the ball, and they draw a player away, opening up the space, and they'd play one touch by doing that. Our players aren't drilled to do that. That was my criticism of Frank. We're not drilled to do this shit. So the next manager that comes in is going to inherit that. This is why I agree with Barry. The Zerbi isn't just going to flick the switch and suddenly we're playing great football. If he does, hats off to him. But the likelihood is he's not. Because the players need to be drilled this, and it takes time. Vicario is not going to suddenly be good at playing out from the back. Romero is not going to suddenly play really quick football, not slow down the entire game. Porro is not going to suddenly become good again. There's so many components that need to work. I don't know.
If you can put
Modric and Dembele both always received it on the half turn.
Sure.
Half turn, they would receive the ball and they'd take two
under
players
pressure,
out.
they can do it.
Just under pressure. And quite often they'd invite the pressure behind them because they knew that they could turn and take that player out, and they'd break through the press. We've got nobody who does that, or we've got nobody. They've never been taught or coached to play in that way, which is absolute. Like you say, when you see the youngsters doing it, why are they not doing it? It beggars belief.
I think the one thing that will improve us is if De Zerbi cuts out if he gets the players concentrating better, he gets them full on the whole game, and you cut out the unforced errors. If you start doing that, you then become tough to beat. You've then got, you're not conceding the way we have been conceding this season, and you only need one. And if you're tight at the back, you can come away with like Bilbao. We had 27% of the game. We had one shot on target in 90 minutes, 100 minutes, and we won that final 1-0. Wasn't pretty. Our performance was poor. It was dogged. It was resilience. They defended well. Attacking wise, it was absolutely appalling. But it didn't matter because we took the chance that came our way and we dug it out.
In a one-off game, that's all right, Rubo, but you're not going to sustain that for a season.
But listen, we don't. It's 7 games still. It's 7 games.
We've got 7 one-off games.
7 games. We are not going to defend like we did in Bilbao for 7 games. It's not going to happen.
Maybe not. But if you cut out the mistakes,
Frank tried to do that. Thomas Frank tried to do that, and look what happened. He tried to be ultra defensive, and look what happened. It collapsed.
Well, in all the games that we've won, bar Leeds, we haven't conceded a goal. So it's there. It can be done with these players. They've just got to start cutting out the unforced errors, and the results start coming. You need one result, confidence lifts, and all of a sudden things look a lot different. I'm still confident they'll stay up.
They can't play under pressure.
And that still comes from years of not buying. That comes from years of not buying leaders for the football club.
Yeah.
So you end up with a lot of players who just crumble under pressure, and there's no one there to pull the rest of the team through. I mean, the idea that Romero is a leader was completely dispelled. He's not a leader when you saw against Forest, and we let Morgan Gibbs-White waltz into our penalty area, side foot it from the penalty spot, and Romero turns around and goes, well, "Where were you? Do you know what, mate? You're the captain, and you're the central defender. You're supposed to be, you're supposed to be in charge of all of this. You're supposed to be having those, pointing those things out before the goal goes in, not afterwards. We desperately need people who can pull the rest of the team up."
I don't think our players can handle pressure because the culture of the club can't handle pressure. As soon as it gets going tough for any manager, we sack the manager. The board can't handle the pressure of having a manager go through a tough period. The fans can't handle pressure because we sacked Mourinho before a cup final. Where's the accountability? There's no accountability. It's allowed to happen. There's no pressure on accountability from anyone in this club. So I'm not surprised our players can't handle pressure because I don't believe the culture of the club is to play under pressure or operate under pressure. It's just to be comfortable. Let's just be comfortable. And I think
that won't happen still.
It starts from the top all the way down to the, throughout the club.
Well, I think we're in a little bit of a bubble here. Take the owners out of that for the next 7 games. It's to Zerbi and his players. And for me, it's nothing else counts. He's just got to get them playing. He's got to get a new manager bounce. He's got to cut out the errors, and hopefully, bit by bit, they'll find the confidence to start playing the way he wants to play because it is progressive attacking football. He's not going to drill it into them because he hasn't got a pre-season. He's just got to, it's the best teams make the fewest mistakes. Same in life, in anything. The most successful people make the fewest mistakes. And that's the key for the next 7 games. If you're not making mistakes, you're not losing games. So,
but Lubo, we can make less mistakes, but it only takes 1 mistake.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. That's why I say we, De Zerbi is not going to change these players overnight. Is Romero going to start doing his usual? Oh, I'll get bored, so I'll go and play up front, and then all of a sudden we just get cut through in that midfield. Look, it'd be interesting to see how he sets up and what reaction we get. But I just think if and I know we'll come on to it, but I just think if we we concede in those first 20, 25 minutes, we know how the game's going to finish, right? It's certainly not going to go the way that we all want it to go, right? Believe it or not, we do want Spurs to win. For all those negative Nancy's in the chat saying we don't want them to win, we do want them to win, but I just can't. Yeah, there's just so many broken. They can't even pass a ball to one another. That's the first thing they've got to start doing is passing the ball to one another. Whether that is backwards or sideways, make a 5-yard pass, then start. That. So I hope they've been working on that. But I just don't see. We've seen another player come out. We're getting players back. Is Bergvall fit? We don't know if another couple of players start breaking down in the games coming up, then what we're back to the bare bones, and then we're having to we sit there and laugh about Arsenal relying on Max Dowman, but realistically, and it's not his fault, but actually we've relied on Archie Gray, who's arguably been the best player the last 4 to 6 weeks, to show some fight, and if the rest of them showed a bit of what he's shown, considering everything that he's been put through with different positions and not playing where he should be and everything else, then, we would be in a better position.
I think it's key. The next 7 games, isn't Romero, when he's on his game, is superb. I think we all agree that. It's just this season, he's just...
I wouldn't say he's superb, but he's a lot better than what he is. Yeah.
Well, you look at the performance in Bilbao. He was superb, absolutely superb. If he gets his head right for the next 7 games, because he'll want to move, and the form, the lack of responsibility that he's shown as captain, the mistakes, the bozo tackles. I mean, he's been booked 8 or 9 times and had two red cards already this season. That won't impress certain teams. He owes the fans and he owes the club. So
Yeah,
for
but he
me,
doesn't know yet, Lubo, because then he comes out with that stupid comment for his dad that he's got a release clause or whatever it was the other week. I mean, that
I know. Listen,
he's only what, 2 book. If he gets booked in the next 2 games, he's suspended for another 2 games.
Can we be honest? Right?
one game. No, I don't think he can be. I think it's after 32 games.
Lubo, can we have it?
You're then fine. You're then okay. We played 31, haven't we? And I
Lubo,
don't think
can we have it straight, right? No fan has got a bloody clue what's going to happen with Zerbi. None. Maybe next year, if he's still here and building, maybe. But for this next 7 games, I don't think any fan has got a clue what's going to happen. It could be a complete and utter shit show. It could be brilliant. It could be a bit of both. God knows. No, I'll be honest with you. When we sacked Ange for Frank, I knew. And I got called a lot of names for 3 months into the start of this season when I was saying, nah. And then it all fell apart. When we hired Tudor, after 1 game, I told for him to be gone. I said, get him out. He's a disaster. I can see it already. With Zerbi, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea what he's going to do in 7 games. Part of me feels it's too late, no matter who came in. Even if Pep came in, it's too late. But the other part of me feels, if you just get 2 wins, that might just do it. But our track record is horrendous. So I genuinely don't know what we're going to get with Zerbi in the next 7 games. I'm lost with this one. It could be.
it's not.
I don't think any Spurs fan can call this.
It's certainly not too late. You know, we've won 2 out of 22, and we're still not in the relegation zone. So I know it sounds mad, doesn't it?
But we were 9 points off of it. But Lubo, we were 9 points off of it, and now we're right in it.
We were 13 points off it.
Okay, so if Romero gets sent off, he misses 5 games. So we better hope he doesn't do anything stupid, right? Because it does reset after 32, so he can't get the 2-game ban. But if he gets a red card, he'll get a 5-match ban.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, if you said to me, you've got 7 games to go to avoid relegation, would you rather Frank, Tudor, or Zerbi? I'm picking Zerbi. I'm picking Zerbi over those. If they're the 3 options, I'm going with Zerbi. So,
well, listen,
that's right, Stel. But if that's what we were going to do, why did we not bring him in when Frank got sacked and wait and do what we did?
Mate, Barry, I was losing my mind after 1 game of Tudor. And again, you know, you're not allowed to have a strong opinion. You've got to wait for the shit to completely fall out of the backside before you can actually have an opinion. I don't know, man. I don't know. But in fact, this goes to the next subject I wanted to discuss, because why didn't we bring in Zerbi straight after Frank? There's rumours that Lange has been sacked, but it's not going to be announced to the summer. Lange is part of the team that gets to pick the manager. You go first on this, Barry. This is all part of Lange's doing. It's not just him. It's Vinay and the board. They're all in it together. It's like a cartel. But Lange has been part of this. I mean, what is he still doing at the club? And do you believe that he's actually going to be gone in the summer?
Well, look, we've seen, if you look at what happened when he was at Villa and look at what's happened subsequently when we're talking about hindsight and everything else, when he left Villa and look what they've done, getting rid of Lange, then that should have been everything that you need to know. A lot of people are saying, you know, you could even sit there and say, well, Vinay coming in, it's a mole and he's just doing it to, you know, all of these, you know, conspiracy theories and what have you. But look, for Lange to still be at this football club when the managers have failed based on the board and the hierarchy's decision, I don't know. Is it a case where they were listening to Paratici and Paratici has to take blame in this? Because, you know, you can't sit there and say, well, you know, he's left now and everything else. But did he leave? Was he pushed? We'll never know, right? But for Lange to still be at this football club, why do we have to wait until the end of the season to create this, again, more deflection, more smoke and mirrors, more, oh, is he here? Is he not here? Like, if he's not there at Sunderland at the weekend, that's that's taking the focus from where we need it to be onto more questions about Lange and the board and their decision making, which we know is crap. So I don't understand why we can't go, yes, we're having a clear out. There can't be some nonsense in their contract that says we'll put you on gardening leave. We're not going to say anything because it's going to affect your reputation. Everyone associated with this football club, their reputation is in tatters. They cannot sit there and go, oh, so let's look at your CV. I don't know anything about football. So where have you been? I've been at Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, like it's crazy, right?
Barry, if we announce that Lange was sacked tomorrow, do you think any players who might be thinking of leaving might say, oh, hold on a minute, I might wait and see who the next director is actually?
I don't think it does.
Do you think that's possible, or am I clutching at straws here?
I think you're clutching the. I mean, they might sit there and go, "Oh well, who are they bringing in?" Oh, look, we don't know the conversations. We're just, trying to say we don't know what Zerbi said or what Zerbi said to the players, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do in the summer, and this is how I want to build this team. But he said the right-ish things, as he's come out in his press conferences so far. We don't know, but you'd like to think if Zerbi said to this, if you're Zerbi, right, and you're going into these players that are just being donuts, you'd probably say, look, guys, you're better than you are. I know you've been let down. This conversation is the conversation here. It doesn't leave this room, and I'm sure there probably is a mole, and then they'll say it. But the best way to kind of get these players on side, or what I would say is the best way to get them on side, he can go in on the board. He can go in and say, look, the fans haven't backed you, but I'm here and we need to be together, and just almost try and get them to be excited. I don't know. I don't know if you can motivate these players because they can't motivate themselves, but to do something like that says, we know it's been a shit show. We know where we need to be. You're better than this. Let's go out there and let's show what we can do. It's not going to be easy. It's not, we're going to play it game by game, half by half, 10 minutes by 10 minutes. I just don't know. But that's what I would probably do, to say, look, guys, this is what you're better than this. And like what Rain said at the top of the show, you've got to try and get these players to try and think of something different where they don't walk in and go, they come off international duty, they've all played brilliantly, and it's like they've got the Men in Black flipping laser that they just flick when they, and they walk in, they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, am I a football player? And walking around Tottenham and just doing whatever they want, right? Ultimately.
Lange is symptomatic of the problems at the club. Yeah. When we go back to, you can either be a leader or a follower. Okay. And you as long as you've got a good number of leaders, you can have a whole team of leaders, right? As long as they understand the hierarchy, as long as they understand that Roy Keane is the main leader, right? As long as they understand that there's an alpha, you can have a whole team of leaders. Lange is a follower. You can see it. You can see in the interviews he does. He's just there's no belief in what he's saying. He is literally just saying what he's been told to say. He is absolute. Whereas Paratici, leader, right? And I'm sure Johnny, who's having some lovely sushi in Japan, would agree. Paratici didn't stick around at our football club because he absolutely had a very, very clear idea of how things should be run. He wanted things done in the very certain and particular way, and they weren't being done. And so he went, you know what? I'm not gonna be a small fish in a big pond. I'm quite happy to go over there and be an alpha in a smaller pond because that's who I am. Whereas Lange is a beta, right? Or maybe a little bit lower down. He's quite happy to just be at the club and just do what he's doing and do what he's told and trot out his little things in his interviews. Do I think he's been sacked? I'm one of these people. I don't know if I'm ploughing a lonely furrow But I honestly think that ENIC 2.0 are trying to do the right thing. I just think they're doing it badly, and I think they're doing it slowly. And I honestly think that that there will be a change this summer. I think this summer there's going to be some massive. No matter whether we stay up or go down. If we go down, it has to happen. If we go down, then delegation happens. Everything has to change. But I think even if we stay up, I think it will happen. Because I honestly think they tried it with Vinay. They tried kicking Levy out in the summer. They tried getting Vinay in to do a reset. Vinay's been getting his corporate hires in, which unfortunately takes too long to get in. So, and I think they will. I think they will go again in the summer. I think they will look at what's happened, and I think they will. They will do a full reset, and I think that has to include Lange. It has to. We can't. They can't keep on with this. With all of these corporate suits, they need people in there who are actually going to deliver.
I think on Lang, I think his skill set is more looking at bringing through young and identifying young talent. He's picked up Bergvall for $8.5 million. That's a good deal in itself. I think he has blagged his way into this job, and I think he's fallen short, well short. And the problem we've got is that because there's no one at the top on the board with any football knowledge, nobody can see what's going on. Nobody, Lang and Vinay wanted to keep Frank for the whole season. If that had been the case, then we'd have hardly won another game, to be fair. We might have picked up 1 or 2 more points under Frank than Tudor got. But the players weren't playing for him at the end. And for me, it's the blind leading the blinds. So for me, I personally think Lang will go in the summer. If you're the Lewis family and you're looking at an asset that let's say conservatively is £3 billion, and you're putting people in charge of that asset, and your core part of the business is football, and the people that are running that core side of the business have basically jeopardized the value of your asset, possibly by 50%, then you're looking at that. What boss is going to keep those people in place? There's absolutely no way. I don't know how Vinay and Lang can keep their jobs. I think they're keeping them. My personal feeling, not heard anything, just pure gut feeling, is that they're probably looking at it thinking, we're not going to upset the apple cart. It's got to be calm now. Most important thing is to stay up, keep them in place, get rid of them after the Everton game, regardless of whether we're Premier League or Championship. Because
I've seen so many of them in my life. I've seen so many of them in my life, Lubo. Corporate suits who talk very, very nicely. I've never been one of them. Unfortunately, I've never been one of them who talk very, very nicely, speak the right way and look the right way, and have got far purely on that. And they've actually got nothing about them that really makes them stand out, and that's actually part of how they've got there. And then they get to a certain position and they get completely found out. And I think that's where Lange is right now.
I think that's where Vinay is as well. I mean, he's not stamped his authority. He's not put his handwriting all over the club. I hated Levy. He micromanaged and he made decisions. Vinay doesn't make any decisions. They sit there and they think they're making a decision by not making a decision, i.e. the situation with keeping Frank on board. And that hasn't worked as well. So I think the Lewises have seen, the form was dropping off. The club were dropping down the Premier League. Vivian Lewis brought her son-in-law in, who, from what I gather, has got a sports marketing degree. How that helps, I don't know. Maybe it gives him some sort of idea regarding sporting matters. I don't know, but he's got involved with Charrington, and I think they're running the club at the moment with Collicots. And
do you think he's watched Moneyball as well? Maybe. Do you think maybe he's watched Any Given Sunday? I watched that the other day. It's a cracking film.
I don't think any of them are going anywhere unless we get relegated. If we stay in the Premier League, Vinay will be chairman, Lange will be football director. They're bringing another football director to work with Lange. The Lewis family will still be here. The Lewis kids will still be here doing absolutely fuck all. And this Charrington guy, I'm sorry, I never bought into him when he came in. He's still here. I still don't buy into him. For me, nothing is going to change. It's once again another story that's going to be pitched to us. Everyone's going to get sucked in. The only thing that will change anything for me is if there's a major shock. I do think they'll bring another football director, but not to replace Lange, but to work with him. I think they like this dual model stupidity. Hopefully, Vinay just blows it up like Conte did. But when he blows it up, it really ruffles some feathers and shakes it up once and for all. Because I think these stories all conveniently come out. Oh, Lange is off. Oh, this is happening. Every year I go through this. Every year I see the same pattern. Look, that's just my take. I think nothing's going to change other than another football director to work with Lange, not to replace him.
I do worry about Roberto De Zerbi. I do have concerns, right? I had concerns about Frank. My main concerns about Frank was that he was being asked at Spurs to do a completely different job to what he'd done at Brentford. The job at Brentford, he'd the whole transfer team. You know, they had a good transfer team, and but one game a week was the biggest thing under Brentford, and that's a massive it's a massive difference, especially when you're talking about European games. So it's not just a day or 2 days that you're not on the training pitch. It's you know, sometimes it's 3 or 4 that you're not on the training pitch. So, and the same with De Zerbi. So his win percentage at Brighton was 37%, which isn't great. But that was with good players at Brighton. I mean, you know, he had Caicedo. Say what you want about him, but Gross is an absolutely cracking footballer. You know,
he did finish 6th though, Rain, and get them into Europe for the first time. But he did. That was really impressive.
Rain, 37% is 7 points. That keeps us up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah,
is that where we're at? Is that where we're at as a club now?
Yeah.
Just give us a 30% win rate, please.
Yeah. Give us that. No, look. I wouldn't be surprised if us or West Ham do not win another game of football, and that's the only reason we stay up. Genuinely.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Genuinely, because after their game against Wolves, I think they've got a horrible run in, no? So,
Forest have got a difficult run. Not
Everton at home. They've got Everton at home. Then they've got. Then what have they got? Then they've got Arsenal at home. Then they've got Newcastle away, and then they've got Leeds at home. The last game of the season.
Oh, what a game that's going to be! Jesus Christ!
It's not easy. 37% over the course of a season. If you equate 37% of points won, gives you 42 points, which would keep us up definitely. So if we could get 12 out of the last 21, that would be pretty good. If we equaled out. But you're right, 7 points. I think we'll do it. West Ham have got a tough run in after Wolves. Palace away, not easy.
Lubo, Spurs are going to get 7 points.
Where are we going to get 7 points? Well,
in fact, no, hold on, wait, because we're going to come to this subject. 1 minute. Let me do some super chats because they've been sitting there for an hour. Let me do super chats. We'll get onto this subject next. We'll do it. Sniffer, NUFC, thank you very much for your super sticker. Appreciate it very much. A user, as always, and was like eating food with a toothache. Don't think he approves of Ange. Tony Rodriguez, channel member for 13 months. Thank you for being a channel member. Let's talk about the Sunderland game. We're going to do that one next. Fuck Ange. That's very kind of you indeed. Stephen J. Cam, thank you for your super chat. The question to ask is, how did the club sack Ange, state that the club had ambition, and then decide that Frank was the best option? With all their intel, that has been discussed many times, this 15-point checklist or whatever it is they went through to identify Frank. Yeah, I mean, questions need to be asked, that's for sure. Dean Law, thank you for your super sticker. Big up to you. And, of course, Queen Ellie, a.k.a. Ellie Hoybier. Thank you for your super sticker, Ellie. Big up to you, as always. Let's get into the Sunderland Spurs game. Let's get into the game, and then we'll talk about relegation as well. In fact, let's tie the two. Let's do both at the same time. So let's discuss Sunderland Spurs, and then let's also discuss if Stelegation is happening or not. Okay, is Stelegation still on? And Sunderland v Spurs. What's your? Let's start with Rain. We'll go the other way around. Rain, Spurs v. In fact, no, because Lubo. I'll start with you because I interrupted you. Sunderland Spurs. Sunderland are notoriously difficult at home. They're not an easy team to play against. They've picked up some decent results recently. Spurs are in awful form. Kudus is injured, for the rest of the season. Do we go up there and get a win? Do we sneak a draw, or do Sunderland get another 3 points at home? What's your thinking for this game?
With Kudus, I would have been more optimistic of getting a win. I think we'll get a draw up there. I think it's about what we do. I'm not interested really. Listen, obviously we want West Ham to lose tomorrow night. If they get a draw, they're still below us because of the goal difference. I think we'll get something at Sunderland. I think there'll be a new manager bounce. They've lost their last 3 home games. The keeper is a doubt. Dan Ballard, is it Dan Ballard, who is their best defender? He is. It's looking like he is.
Lubo, you know when you say things like they've lost 3 at home, their record isn't that good.
Listen,
isn't this building up for Dr. Tottenham? I'm just asking, isn't this building up for Dr. Tottenham, which has happened all season long? Whenever a team's in a rut and they play Spurs, it's literally jackpot for them, isn't it?
But we argue results. We've got to break this run at some stage. Listen, if we go 20 games to the end of the season without a win, it's done. It's done. We're off to Bristol City and Wrexham and QPR next season. So for me, I've got to stay hopeful. I've got to stay optimistic. And I do think we'll get something. I do think we'll get something up there. Sunderland are...
Based on what? What are you basing that on, Lubo?
Based on a new manager bounce. I genuinely think that he will...
Tudor never got a new manager bounce.
I think, Tudor was an interim. Players look at a situation and a few of them would have been happy. They've got rid of Frank. Oh, who's this guy they've got in? Never heard of him. He was, and to be honest,
Zerbi didn't win any of his first 4 games when he went to Brighton.
All right, well, listen, Zerbi will play players in their right positions. Tudor didn't. It was a complete mess with Tudor. You had Porro playing a right-sided centre-back, Gallagher right wing, Gray left-sided midfield. It was ridiculous. The whole thing was...
So Gray will be on the bench then, Lubo, yeah? If he's playing in the right positions.
Who knows? I've written the team that I think he'll play. He likes quick fullbacks. He likes the technical centre forwards, and Solanke is the most technical out of all of them that we've got. He normally plays with 2 10s. I would have played Kudus with Simmons as a 10. That will go. I think he'll play Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, Doggy at the back. I think he'll play Paulinho in front. Then I think he'll play a 3 in Gray, Gallagher and Simmons. And I think he'll play Tell and Solanke up front. And I do think we'll get something out the game. I think we'll get something. I really do.
All right, Lubo thinks we're going to get something out the game. Rain? Oh, by the way, hold on. Lubo, I'm assuming that you think we're going to stay up and Stelegation isn't going to happen. Spurs will stay in the Premier League. Yeah, is that right?
Just, I think it'll be very close, but I do think we'll stay up.
Okay. Rain, same question. Spurs v Sunderland. What's your thoughts and Stelligation?
So I think we have to remember that the early season, there's a big difference between early season Sunderland and late season. This half of the season Sunderland, they're very much. We've seen it so many times, haven't we, of these teams that have come up or had a second season in the Premier League, and so many of them have had a good first half of the season, and everybody thought they're going to be fantastic, and then they've dropped off because they can't sustain it. And that's certainly where Sunderland are, because at one point people were, "Oh, Sunderland going to get Champions League." No, they're not getting Champions League. So we do have to keep that in mind. We are getting players back, and yes,
Rain, can I just say that their last 3 games, they beat Leeds, lost to Brighton, and beat Newcastle. So they've won 2, lost 1 in their last 3 games.
Right. Okay. But their last, I think they've lost 3 or 4 in the last 10 though, haven't they?
Before Leeds, they drew to Bournemouth. They lost to Fulham. They lost to Liverpool. They lost to Arsenal. They beat Burnley. Lost to West Ham. Beat Palace. So they've won half. Lost half.
Exactly. Start of the season, they were getting loads of points.
1 half, lost half.
And now they're a lot more variable. We're away. We have to remember. Right, we have to factor that in. We for some reason, our players have throughout the whole of the season have played better away, and hopefully that's it, because we want them to go up there and get some points. Do I think we're going to get points? 1 or 3. I think we might scrape a one point. I think it might be one of those where we go behind Sunderland, ease off, try to waste a bit of time, and then we nick an equaliser late on, and grab a point and take us into our next few games with a bit of hope, because and the fundamental here is that we are getting players back. Yes, Kudus is a setback, but we're getting your doggy back. Your doggy hasn't played for quite a bit, but Bergvall seems to be everybody's favourite at the moment. He's only just coming back. Yes, we've lost Tell. Is Tell on the
Tell's fit.
So, we're starting to get some options.
Are they good options?
That's a bigger thing.
Are they
than
good options?
Zerbi. Well, they're options. At one point, it was which positions is Frank going to put the 11 fit players in, not which 11 players is he going to pick, right? So and I'd prefer to have options rather than positional options, player options rather than positional options, as it were. So I think we'll get a point. I think we're going to get a point at the weekend. I think it is going to be ropey, and I don't think we're going to steamroller them.
What about
are we going to stay up? I think I'm not a betting man, because I do enough predictions to know that I get most of them wrong. But if I was a betting man, I'd be putting money on us getting 2 draws to the end of the season and a win. And the win, if I had to put my money on where that win was coming, would be away to Villa.
Oh, really?
That's where I'd put. That's where that has Spurs win written all over it. for me. It's that they'll
What's
be
wrong?
under.
What is wrong with our fan base? Our fan base is nuts.
In what
we're going to
way?
be Villa away. I
But
just don't know where this comes
still,
from.
it makes a hell of a lot more sense. It makes a hell of a lot more
Villa
sense
away.
than wait a minute. Makes a hell of a lot more sense than all these people who are saying we're going to beat Brighton at home. And here's me. The last time I saw a home win was at the beginning of December, mate. Right? So we went and got a point away to Liverpool. We play better away. We play better still when we're not under pressure. When they can just forget about it and just play football. And that game has
Villa's
last
has 5
our
home
players turning up written all over it for me.
Villa's
20
last
points
5
away,
home games.
still 20 points away, 10 points at home this season.
Lubo, you predicted we were going to get 18 points under Tudor.
From 12 games. That's absolutely right. I was a bit wildly optimistic.
He was mental. He got one.
But hang on one second. That was based on number one.
Based on madness. Absolute madness.
No, it wasn't. Number one.
It was ridiculous.
Number one, all the info that had come back was that he had firefighted brilliantly in 3 or 4 different countries with 4 or 5 different clubs. Number two, that if he didn't, he obviously got a manager bounce elsewhere. And number 3, you hope that the players would respond. It didn't work out.
I'm saying it's all hope and guessing. It's like, all right. Do you know
I had 7 points.
A lot of fans did agree with you, and a lot of fans thought there'd be this miraculous.
A lot of fans.
Sorry, go on, Rain.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had 7 points from Tudor to the end of the season.
Okay.
So we're currently on 1. We're currently on 1 from Liverpool. I think we need 4 or 5, and we'll be staying up. And I think we are going. I think we are going to get them because purely because I think we're going to get players back, and that's going to inject some energy.
Oh, the ones you mentioned.
So, is there any chance that we're going to get Maddison? No, yeah. So we're not getting Kudus back. Let me just see.
Kulu's legs finished. Kudus is out for the season. Madison ain't coming back. So the only players really we're going to get back are, Bentancur's. Look, maybe Bentancur.
Bentancur. I was going to say Bentancur. I don't care about.
Odegaard, he's out with an ACL.
Sarr, I don't care about.
We've got 9.
You're right. You're right. We're not getting any other players back. We're getting.
So are you going to rethink your theory?
No, we're getting the players are going to get the players are going to get up to speed. We've got bodies.
We've
got more
bodies.
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Not mad. Well, I guess if you're,
we're going to stay.
I tell you what. Still.
No, hold on. You just said I think we're going to stay up because we've got players coming back, and there's no players coming back.
Yeah, but we've got players who are coming back into fitness, back into the squad.
And Dogie and Bergvall, yeah?
Oh my lord.
If you look at...
When you... Listen,
wait a minute. Let's be clear. The last 6 or 7 games, we've been without Romero. We've been without Van der Ven, right? We've had a lot of players out.
We had them the last 2 games. We had them the last 2 games, didn't we?
No, yeah, but it's the last 6 or 7. Well, we're talking about, we're talking
under
about
Tudor,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. We're talking about the last 5 or 6 games. We've had a lot of players come out, right? And yes, there's plenty of time for bozo moments, for more red cards. There's plenty of time for somebody to pick up an injury by, having a salad cream bottle fall on their foot. There's plenty of time for all of that nonsense. But at this moment in time, if we can just get some players back in this squad and just get them playing, right? The ones who are coming back into the squad, the ones who are coming back in now, and for them not to just leave. So many times we get one. It's like one in, one out, one in, one out, one in, one out.
What is Bergvall and Udogie really going to do for us as a team? What have they done all year? Those two. What have they actually done?
Udogie's barely played, but Udogie, when he has played, has actually given us a bit of width on that left-hand side, and just the pure simple fact
only when
Odegaard
or Spence played in front of him.
I think when Zerbi was playing on I saw him linking up with Zerbi quite a few times.
Xavi
nice.
I think Rain was watching some crazy highlights earlier because I don't remember Udogie doing anything. Were you watching?
Maybe you all need to go and suffer this playlist.
Were you watching it and then you thought, "Oh, I'll just put some different glasses on. Oh, this is great football."
Anyway, let's go to the end of the season, right? And if we get an away win at Villa, I'm gonna ask the guys to bring you. If we beat Villa, Lubo's got a memory like he doesn't forget anything. If we beat Villa, you'll be on the next show, guaranteed. And you can throw custard pies in my face and all of that. Go for it. Do it.
Listen, if you talk about the players that are available.
If you don't beat Villa,
there we go.
I will find you.
Here comes Lubo. He's got his program out.
No. Yeah, you've got
and here's your 7-point manifesto.
No, forget that. Forget
don't read any statements out either, Lubo. Yeah, because you'll read the whole 25 pages.
Way past that. If you look at the team that I read out: Spence, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Polini, Grace, Simmons, Gallagher, Tell, and Solanke, that would still leave you a bench. Bear in mind we've had a really weak.
We'll
bench.
Still have 2 keepers on the bench, Lubo.
Okay, but you'll have Dragerson, Danso, Richie, Bergvall, Porro, Susan, Mawani, Austin, and that would leave one for a kid, and he'd probably bring someone.
Not one game changer, not a single game changer to come off the bench.
Well, you've got Richie and Mawani who can both win you a game.
Mawani, absolute disgrace of a signing. One of the worst signings we've ever made.
You just got to tell him to pretend he's playing Champions League football still. That's all.
Can Zerbi unlock Mawani? Can Zerbi unlock Mawani?
Wait, Stel.
Yeah.
Mawani? Werner. Which one was worse? Mawani or Werner?
I absolutely despised Werner. Jesus Christ.
And
Werner's got better stats though. Werner's actually got better stats.
Can I ask? I just want to ask who signed Werner twice? Sorry, I've forgotten. Can you fill me in on that?
Lange. Your boy, your Enoch 2.0 that you backed.
Which manager was it that was there?
Talk to me about your boy Frank, who made us more stable as a team.
He did.
Anyway.
Who's got the worst Premier League record of any Spurs manager in history? Let's talk about your boy. If you're going to go there, you know where I'm going to take it, right? You know what
Tudor saved him from that though, didn't he?
Yeah,
Tudor's actually got the record. Yeah,
he has.
Tudor's got the record. Yeah. He's actually you're right. Tudor broke the record.
Go on, Barry. Show me up.
So, I mean, I think you've shown yourself up, if I'm honest, with some of those ridiculous comments you've made. Look, no, I'm joking. But
if we beat Villa away, I'm going to be shitting myself on this show.
Do you know, Barry? The problem is, I do believe you were on a show with me.
Oh, here we go.
You were on a show with me. I think Stel might have been there as well when I predicted that we beat Liverpool 1. We draw with Liverpool 1-1, and I got laughed at. You got laughed at then as well.
You did, and I did apologise because you did get it right. But you know what, Rain? A broken clock is right twice a day as well, mate. So you know, there's
broken clock.
Everyone gets lucky. Everyone gets lucky.
But look, for me, there will be 11 bodies on the pitch. There will be a bench, whether it's filled with football players or game changers or what we're going to do. I don't know what's going to happen at the weekend. I can't predict it either way. All I know is if we're going on that logic of Villa are in the midst of a semi-final potentially in the Europa League, they've won 50% and they've lost 50%. So in your logic, Rain, they play Forest this weekend. So if they lose to Forest, then they should win against us or the next game. And I don't know. So, but there could be some method in your madness. But God forbid Forest win, West Ham win, and we don't win this weekend, then I think it doesn't matter what happens in the delegation is well and truly is there. Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know what Zerbi is going to do on. The only thing we can hope for is that we do not concede that early goal on Sunday. Because if we concede that early goal, then we know what's going to happen. We haven't come back in a game when we've conceded first. We will be sitting there. It'll almost be like like the Liverpool game when we're sitting going, oh, it's been 5 minutes, it's been 10 minutes, it's been 15 minutes. Oh, we're doing all right here. We might. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be, if we concede that early goal on Sunday, then I'm really worried. On the back of a West Ham win at home to Wolves, on the back of whatever Forest are doing against Villa, it could be like we would have gone from that 9 points that we said to being in it and being 2 points, 2 points behind with, and playing catch up. I don't know what team he's going to play. I don't know how they're going to turn up. They haven't won at home in 3 games. Dr. Tottenham. Romero gets sent off and banned for 5 games. I mean, it could just all unravel in this game, right? It could just all unravel, and then or Lubo, you're right. Or we could nick something, Moani, off his bum in the 92nd minute where he's tried to head it, he's slipped over and he's just bummed it into the net. I mean, it could be that. I don't see us winning. I don't see how we can see based on what we've seen. If someone would say,
so what are you going with, Barry? Where are you going with, mate?
Someone would say to me, if you would you take a draw at Sunderland now? I'm biting your hand off.
Right, I'm going to make this easy for everyone. Right, let's go around quickly. Lubo, score prediction.
Jesus. 1 apiece.
1-1. Barry?
0-0.
0-0. Rain?
1-1.
Okay, I'm going 2-1 Sunderland. So 3 draws and a loss. And regarding delegation, I think Zerbi will keep Tottenham up. I think he will keep them up.
Yeah, I think only because us and West Ham don't win another game. That's why I think we stay up.
No, I think he'll beat Leeds at White Hart Lane, and I think he'll get another draw. He'll get another win from somewhere, but I don't know who. I don't think it'll be Villa or Chelsea.
Away still. Villa away.
Nah, he's not. I don't think it'll be. I think maybe last game of the season, big end of season finale thriller. Somehow Spurs get a win and that does it. I think the Zerbi will find 2 wins from the next 7, but it won't be against Sunderland.
I'm going to tell you.
I think if we're not safe by that last game, I think we will fold.
I fear for that last game because we've definitely got 5 teams in the Champions League next season. 5th place gets you in.
If we have a bus parade before the game, maybe.
Right. Hang on. And Everton are in the running at the moment. Everton hit a good run over the next few games.
Everton are in good form, man.
They are banging for a shout. Definitely of Europe.
Arsenal were lucky to beat Everton away. Everton gave them a real tough game, Really tough game.
They were lucky to beat them at home as well, so it was a 93rd minute goal. So they're a good side. So
you know what it'll be if it gets down to that last game. It'll be everything will be fine. Tottenham will be there. Tarkowski will score a 30-yard scream into the top bins. 94th minute. See you later.
Do you know what? I think I've got I've got this sneaky feeling De Zerbi might get a draw at Stamford Bridge. You know, Chelsea are all over the shop.
Yeah.
Although that normally means that they're going to turn up against us. That's what they do. But I've got a sneaky feeling he might just get a draw at Chelsea against all the odds.
I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't put that past us. Either Chelsea or Villa. No one will expect us to get a result in either of those games, and I wouldn't put it past us getting a result in either of them.
I definitely think we beat Leeds though, because we beat them this season already, and Leeds really, really struggle. Do you know what? Fucking hell, what am I doing? I'm talking shit. I'm saying Leeds really struggled to score goals. Forest struggled to score goals, and they came to us and scored 3.
Yeah.
So, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Because we were in such horrific form under Frank, and then Tudor was worse. It's whether De Zerbi can turn around the fortunes of the team. Like it just all seems to go tits up. Like Barry said, you concede an early goal. Are we going to collapse under De Zerbi, or are we going to rally and bounce back in the game? It's that unknown. It's like you just don't know what De Zerbi's going to. Like, you don't know what's going to happen with it. Oh, it's so hard.
Let's go. Still, we've gone through Sunderland. Let's go through the last 6. Let's see how many points all of us think we're going to end up with. And we are going.
You know the maximum you can get is 21, right? So don't go saying 21. Yeah.
We are going completely blind on this, aren't we? Because nobody knows what team he's going to pick, what system he's going to play, injuries, etc., etc. So let's go. We've gone 3 draws and a defeat with Still, Brighton, Rain.
So
win, lose your goal.
Lose.
You think we'll lose, Barry?
Yeah, lose.
Still,
Draw.
I'll go for a draw. Wolves away. Rain.
Point.
Barry.
Lose.
Still.
Beating them in 3 years.
Do you a result? Go on, Still.
Lubo, every week you say we're due a result. I swear to God, it's like this is on
I've got to be right. I've got to be right sooner or
We're due
later.
a result. We're due a result. We're due a result.
I've got to be right at some stage.
We're going to lose. We're going to lose to Wolves. We're going to lose.
Okay, I'm going for a win. Better away.
We know what Ryan's going to say.
Barry, you gone for a win, haven't you?
Lose.
Win.
Barry?
Lose.
Still?
Lose.
I'll go for a loss as well. Leeds? Rain?
Point.
Barry?
Point.
Still?
Win.
I'm going for a win there. Chelsea away?
Lose. What are we
Donut.
doing?
Donut.
Rain? Pardon?
Donut. 0.
0. Still?
Yeah, probably lose in the end. Lose.
Me too. And Everton at home.
See, 1 minute. This is impossible because you can only predict the Everton result if you know what is on the line on that day, because that changes the dynamics of everything. Do you understand?
Okay.
Because if we're safe, that game means nothing. If we're not safe, there's a lot of jeopardy. And then you've got West Ham versus Leeds on the same day. It's such a difficult game to predict.
Well, so far from the next 8 games, I've gone for 8 points.
Of course you have.
Rain's gone for 6.
Whatever Lubo says, divide it by 4. Right?
Yeah. Still's gone for 4 and Barry's gone for 2.
2.
Okay. Us 3 here are the more realistic outcomes of what's going to happen, right? Lubo always goes all in. All his chips just
okay, so Lubo's going to finish on 11 because he's going to predict a win against Everton. So he's going to go for 11 points.
I don't think we'll beat Everton. I think that could be one of our hardest games.
I think we lose to Everton.
Me too.
I think it's a draw. 3 points. Wow.
I think it's a draw as well. I think we draw against Everton.
So,
what you
so still in the early 2000s there was this thing called Italy's lucky number, right? and I've just double checked. It was number 53, and it didn't come up for like 100 in their lottery, for like 150 times. And just like Lubo, everybody was like, "It's got to come up sooner or later." It's just random, it will just come up or it won't come up. It's not.
Well,
it's not more likely to come up if it hasn't already come up.
I'm very lucky.
Lubo, can I ask you a question? Lubo, 1 minute. Can I ask you one question? If we lose all our remaining games or draw, we don't win. The first game of pre-season, are you going to predict to win because we've got to win at some point?
Well, listen, I have only gone for 2 wins out of 7 here. So,
and yet you're still on like 15 points.
No, I'm on 8 points.
You're on, you think we're going to lose to Everton? You think we're going to lose to Everton?
I do.
Wow.
All right, so you predicted 8. What's Barry, Rain, and myself predicted?
Okay, well, Rain's gone for 6. You've gone for 5. Barry's gone for 3. So you don't think we're going to win another game, Barry?
Right, what did Rain said 6? I said what? 5?
You said 5.
I
You've
said
gone
11.
for draws. You've gone for draws.
What did Barry pick? What did Barry pick?
3.
So that's 14. 14 divided by 3?
2 and a bit.
What's that? 4.5.
4.5. No.
All right, so we're going to get between 4 to 5 points then. That's probably what's going to happen, between 4 to 5.
So you've gone you've gone for 5 points from the 3 home games and 4 away defeats, basically.
Okay.
And we are twice as good away as this season as we are at home.
Yeah,
but that all went out the window.
Wisdom.
That all went out the window. Didn't it, under Tudor?
No, it went out the window under Frank, to be honest.
Our next win will be Lincoln away on the first day of the season next year.
Barry, by the way, hold on. Barry didn't
on 35. We're staying up on 35 points.
Do you reckon? You reckon we'll stay up on 35?
Yeah.
It may even be goal difference that keeps us up.
Well, our goal difference is screwed.
Yeah, but
our goal difference was looking great about 4 games ago, and now it's
West Ham have got to score 11 goals more than us, and
but I do think if West Ham beat Wolves and we drop into the bottom 3 going into the Sunderland game, I think we shit the bed. I'm predicting we lose to Sunderland on the basis that I do think West Ham are just going to beat Wolves. That's why I'm predicting a loss against Sunderland, because I think we're going to shit the bed. Because the pressure of being in the bottom 3, I just think we're gonna melt.
I think what you got to hope, the press, the media have absolutely hammered this group of players for the last few months, and it's
so have our fans, Lubo. Our fans have hammered the players.
Okay, but at some stage, are the players going to actually show up and say, "Do you know what? I've got to pull my finger out here." And
no, Lubo, because they don't give a shit, because they'll just put in a transfer request.
Well, Frank spent the whole season telling them how amazing Arsenal are. So it was hard for them to feel good about what they are. After we've just won a European trophy, the manager's telling them how great Arsenal are, right?
Walking around with an Arsenal car.
I mean, it's unbelievable, mate. Do you know what? If we were to go down, the documentary on this season will be phenomenal. Like, there's so much to be forgotten, just the shithousery and just ridiculousness of this season. It would make a great footballing documentary. Just what the fuck happened at Spurs that season? Like, what was going on at that club? It'd be box office production, you know.
So Lubo, I reckon, even with 3 points, we stay up, because I think West Ham will get 3 points, and then we'll stay up by a point.
So Nick, you think that? I mean, where are you on Wolves at home?
For West Ham?
Yeah. Let's go through West Ham.
I think they win that, and then they don't win another game.
So you think they'll lose to Palace, Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Leeds?
Yeah, I think West Ham get. I think they get a bit more than 3 points. I think they get a bit more than that.
All right. Well, they can get 4, and we can stay up on goal difference.
Do you know the team out of all the teams in this relegation battle? Do you know the team I think most likely to collapse if it's not going to be Spurs? Leeds, yeah.
Leeds.
Leeds fixtures. Leeds go to Old Trafford, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Burnley at home. So Wolves and Burnley at home, you've got to
They
think
have to beat Burnley. They have to beat Burnley if they've got a chance. They have to.
Then they're at our place, and they finish off with Brighton at home and West Ham away. So you don't want West Ham and Leeds on the last day of the season to be ahead of Spurs, do you?
Could you imagine? They play for a draw. Oh my God!
A point where neither of them gets out of their own half.
Hey, is there? Can you imagine they just all sit down? They just sit down for like. Is there a rule? Like is there a rule against that? Is there a rule against just playing out for a draw?
Yeah.
Is there anything?
I think technically there is a clause in the Premier League charter that teams have to play to win. It is in there, but yeah, that was. When was that? Was that in the 50s?
What's the punishment? Is it a fine?
Go on, tell you.
What's the punishment?
Rain, go and challenge that. Rain, go and challenge that. Go and challenge that the day after a 1-1 draw, West Ham Leeds.
Yeah, exactly. When was that, Lubo? Was that the 50s or was that? When was that? Which World Cup was that in?
There was a World Cup. There was a World Cup.
Yugoslavia?
Yeah, there was a World Cup in the 70s, I think, where two teams, I think Austria might have been involved, and they played out last 20 minutes. They were just knocking the ball around, and both of them got through the group stage. So, can you imagine? West Ham and Leeds are both 3 points clear of us with an inferior.
They'll just go, or they'll do what happened in that game when they let the other team run through and score, won't they? And like,
if you're the chairman of West Ham or Leeds, you're calling up the other chairman saying, "Listen, do you want to guarantee another £100 million in your kitty for next season? Let's agree to a draw. You're a winner. I'm a winner. Fuck Spurs. Yeah, done." That's exactly what you would do. That's exactly what you would do. I hope Spurs would do that if we were in that situation. If it was reversed, I hope our owners called up the club we're playing and say, "Can we just play out for a draw here and just,
Well, we better get something on Sunday then, haven't we?
Say that again?
We better get something on Sunday. Make sure we're not in that position.
Is a draw enough on Sunday, guys, or does it have to be a win on the basis that on the assumption that West Ham beat Wolves, they go above us by 2 points? Would we accept a draw, or must it be a win?
These players just need These players need some confidence. These players need to believe that they can get points. That's it. That's what needs to happen, because you just see it so often. They just fold. Like with Forest, they just folded.
They did it, didn't they? From the 44th minute up to then, we were banging the game, and the goal went in before half time, and they just seemed to die, didn't they? Second half,
you can just see it on their face, Lubo. You can see it. They think it's happening again. You can just see it.
I think the atmosphere under Tudor was probably horrendous. This is a different situation. Listen, I'm not expecting them to.
It was bad under Frank as well, though. It was pretty bad under Frank.
Well, listen, you got to have hope.
Weren't the players having bust-ups with the away fans under Frank? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, Van der Ven came over and had a big row with them.
All right.
Yeah.
He told you and Johnny to shut up, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know about
that. I need to be clear about this. The atmosphere in the stadium is absolutely fantastic for every game. It absolutely rocks until they let us down. And as soon as they start letting the fans down, the fans just and quite often the fans then try to pick them back up, and then another mistake is made, and the fans are just like, oh, whatever, and then they start leaving.
That's why it's about not making mistakes, Ray.
There's only so much the fans can do, you know that. There's only so much fans can do before they just say, well, what's the point? We back you and it's just falling apart. What are we actually backing here? What are we actually backing? We're backing a mess. So
someone once said, they will always let you down.
They will always let you down.
We'll see.
You know, Cody Mack does it better than me. You know that. Cody Mack actually does it better.
Lubo, are you at Sunderland on Sunday?
I'll be there Sunday. Yeah.
So it's Lubo's fault then.
My sins.
No, look. For me, if you could replicate the away fans all the way through regardless of how we've been playing, there's not a time where you don't hear the away fans on the TV or above the home fans or anything else, right? And I think that's what we need to try and replicate. But I just really worry that Friday, we have to get not us, but we have to get through Friday. If Friday comes and West Ham have thrown it away, and then what we need to do is what we always tend not to do is to, wherever we've been in the table, whether it's been at the top or at the bottom, we have an opportunity to put some space between us and the chasing pack. We never do it. And that's the time where we have to do it. If West Ham don't get a win or lose, then we have to go ahead and go, right, we need to, it doesn't matter. We need to just go and play whatever we need to do to try and get 3 points. 3 points on Sundays would be dream world, right? We've not won a game in God knows how long,
The thing is, Nick, if the team actually gives it a go and they play with some half decent attacking football and the opposition's goalie makes some really good saves, we hit the crossbar, a long range shot just clips the post, and we see that.
Yeah.
The fans will stay with the team because they can see we're actually in the game and we got a chance. It's when we can't make 5 passes, the goalkeeper's flapping, the defenders are caught out of position, the strikers are shooting instead of passing or passing instead of shooting, and Porro's having a stinker and all the rest of it. That's when fans just think, what's the point?
Yeah, look, and I think there's a massive decision over the goalkeeper on Sunday as well. Massive. Does he?
Is it Vicario injured? Is it Vicario
out? He's out.
He's out. Yeah.
So it's Kinski or Austin.
Yeah.
So, I would go with Austin personally. I like Austin.
So listen, he's only played 2 games. He did well against Newcastle and Tamworth. No,
I love how you just say that with such a straight face, Lupo. Oh yes, Newcastle and Tamworth were the 2 games that he played.
Having said that, if you remember, Nick, 96th minute, he saved the guy scuffed a shot. It was going in the bottom corner.
I know, Lupo, but it's the way you just sit there with a straight face. Well, the 2 games, it was Newcastle and Tamworth.
It's
just carries on.
It's like he said, Man United. It's like,
yeah,
a good game against.
Against Real Madrid and Barcelona, he played great in those 2 games.
Didn't he play against them? Didn't have a good game. Was it against Hoffenheim last season in the Cup, Europa? Was it Hoffenheim?
Who, Austin?
Yeah.
No.
Lubo's getting his program out.
Who was that German team we played? And I swear Austin was the goalkeeper for that game.
No.
Who do you think? But
Really?
I would also probably play Austin, but we all think the Zerbi is going to play Kinski, don't we?
Yeah. It's do you know what? It's interesting. This Sunday's going to be interesting because none of us know exactly how he's going to play. None of us know.
Lubo, I praised you earlier for having a good memory. I was right. Brandon Austin was the goalie for Hoffenheim versus Spurs. He was the goalie.
What, in the October?
Yep.
When we played Hoffenheim away, Austin was the goalie.
In Elfsborg.
We won 3-2, and he kept us in that game. I remember he had a really good game that day.
Okay.
Lubo's in the mud.
There you go.
And actually, Lubo, he was on the bench for Tamworth, so you've had 2 stinkers there.
No way. Was he on the bench against Tottenham?
Oh, he's all on the bench, yes.
Well, there you go. Jesus.
I freaking told everyone you had a good memory tonight.
There you go. Malfunction. Ding, ding, ding. There you go.
Lubo, I'm up. Do you know what, Lubo? It's because you didn't get your programs out, mate. That's why you got it wrong.
So who did Austin? So who did Kinski actually have a good game against them? Like really,
Liverpool in the first leg of
Liverpool in the
the
League Cup.
Carabao Cup. That was
Liverpool in the League Cup.
his debut. Yeah. Yeah, it was because he came in and he played, didn't he, in the first leg against Liverpool when Bergvall scored.
Sorry, so who was in goal against Tamworth?
Oh, I don't know. Let me hang on. Luvo's stumped now, isn't
Go
he?
on.
Now, you see what I remember about that Liverpool game with Kinski.
Was it Fraser?
Was not that necessarily Kinski came in and was an awesome goalkeeper. What I remember is he came in and he actually kicked the ball.
Yeah.
And we were all like, "Oh, a player who actually kicks the ball rather than Vicario who just does the little things." And I think we were all kind of a bit starry-eyed with Kinski when he first came in. So I think we all remember him having a great game in that.
I think he pulled off some good saves. Let's not do him a disservice considering it was Liverpool.
Can we come back?
In goal was Kinski for Tamworth.
For Tamworth.
Yes.
Wow. So he gave him several games, didn't he?
So Barry, what was that about then? Where you just said he wasn't. What's going on here?
No, Lubo. What do you mean when he wasn't? What are you talking about? We were saying that Austin wasn't in goal for Tamworth. Lubo said Austin was in goal for Tamworth. Kinski was in goal for Tamworth. We were talking about Liverpool. Kinski was in goal.
Right.
That was his best game in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah.
Can he afford to risk him this week? I mean, it's so important, and particularly after what happened in Madrid. Can he risk him? Has he got the temperament? It's going to be mad up there.
By the way, I don't think Kinski's a bad goalie. I just think he had a horrific day that day. It happens. You have really bad days. He had a stinker. He had an absolute stinker.
But having slipped for the first goal and having seen Van der Ven slip for the second, to actually attempt a first-time pass with a ball that's coming at you diagonally, that's going towards your goal, that was just madness. I think for me, his head went for that third goal. Yeah, and that's why probably Romero said to Tudor, hook him off.
But was that actually the only goal that he was at fault for? Because wasn't it the pass back? The first one was the pass back to him that was a stupid thing to do.
No,
his fault. Van der Ven slipped, and he also wasn't on the pitch for the other goals that I know you said, Lubo, that the goal wasn't a goal because it should never have been a free kick, but ultimately it was a free kick, and ultimately Vicario made the save, but then four players just stood around looking at the ball rather than.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we saw Madrid.
What an absolute joke! Our first game with Zerbi, and we've got a problem with the goalkeeper, and we're trying to teach them how to play up from the back. The Zerbi ball, it's just mental.
Well, we'll see. All will be revealed within 3 days, won't it?
It's a lot. I'll tell you what, Lubo, it's a long way back from Sunderland, mate.
Well, it's just as well I'm up there from Saturday to Monday. So,
well, you going to the races as well, Lubo, on Saturday?
No.
Lubo's going alone.
No,
Lubo's going clubbing. He's going clubbing Saturday night.
Yeah.
On the pool.
Yeah. I'm with my missus. She's coming out for the weekend. She's from Newcastle, so we're staying with friends, and we'll drive back Monday. So no, I've done Newcastle back in the day, and I was 30 years younger, and it was tough then. So not a chance now.
No, I did Newcastle after we lost again when Stell got the train up with Iggy and JP after being out on the booze till like 3 a.m. and then I had to drive home. That's not a good idea either.
Oh mate, Newcastle.
It's a fantastic city for nightlife. It's really superb.
Yeah.
It's a good town. On that note,
we'll say cheerio. We'll wrap up.
Quick question: did you have a pub night in Cyprus? Yes, we did. In
the sports bar.
So the funniest thing happened, right? On the last night of Lubo's holiday, he discovered that there was a sports bar directly opposite his hotel. He's like, "Oh, there's a sports bar there."
You're not lucky, are you? You know, for me. It was a week away from football. No, it was a week away from football. For me, it was, you know.
Lubo walks out of the hotel every morning, doesn't see the sports.
No,
bar.
I didn't walk out. I didn't walk out. Didn't walk out. Went the other way to the pool, or went the other way to walk along the beach. Never went out to the front. But you know, for me,
the funniest thing was, right. As soon as he saw the sports bar, the first thing he said was, "Oh, there's a sports bar here. I'll definitely stay in this hotel again."
As against the other ones that the wife and I got taken on a tour of in Paphos by Stell. Must show you this hotel. Must show you that hotel. But
to be fair, that sports bar is actually decent because you sit there and there's two massive screens and you watch two games at once. So we saw Arsenal Sporting, and how crap was that game, by the way? Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then Real Madrid Bayern was a good game. That was decent.
How good was that match? How good were Bayern Munich in that first half? Jesus. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, and last night, how good were PSG last night?
Going forward, PSG is the best team in Europe on the attack. Their passing accuracy is insane.
That goal, and the way Kvaratskhelia just slowed it all down and scored that goal was just
they're class, man. They're class.
We can only dream of players like that.
Yeah.
Be patient. Tell's going to come
process.
Good. Be patient. Mateus Tell. Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. Rain, is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, not at all. No, it's all good. Thank you very much for having me. Shame I missed Sean. Shame I missed Johnny. Have a great weekend, Lubo, and
thanks.
Let's. I'll be happy to come back on when we beat Villa.
Absolutely.
I think Sean is back next Thursday because I believe Monday he's away, and then Johnny. I don't know when Johnny's back. He's gone away for like a month.
Johnny's back Monday week, I think.
So he's going to miss the next two as well. Yeah. All right, we'll be back on Monday regardless. We will be dissecting the Sunderland game.
Yeah.
Barry, final words from you.
Yeah. No. Thanks for having me. Just if you haven't, and you've probably seen it, Brains McLeod's film California Scheming is out tomorrow in cinemas. So there's a few of us going to watch it and a Q&A with Brains tomorrow. But yeah, it's out in cinemas. Story of his life. It's going to be mad. It's going to be mad as Spurs. So it's going to be an interesting watch. So go and see that if you can.
Is it out in all cinemas, or is it like a kind of these kind of small productions that hit a few cinemas?
So I don't know. So it's in. So there's two cinemas near me. It's in one of them. Like there'll be like 3 or 4 showings. I don't know how. It won't be like on every day for the next week, but it's definitely there's 2 or 3 showings in it. There'll be 2 or 3 showings in a nearby cinema. So yeah, it's we're going to the Picture House tomorrow. I think Brains, he had the gala, he had the Odeon Leicester Square last night. He's gone up to Glasgow, I think, or he's doing ITV or Sky Sports or Talk Sport. He don't even know where he is, but he's doing that tomorrow, and then he's flying back tomorrow lunchtime, and then we're obviously meeting him in the evening, and we might be. He's trying to get James McAvoy to come along afterwards, so he's at the.
James Corden's in it.
He's the music executive producer, I think. So I don't think he's in it.
Cast.
But yeah.
It says cast.
Yeah.
James Corden.
If you click on it, it says music producer or music executive or something like that. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see that out. So yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, me, Danny's flying back tomorrow. So I'm picking him up from the airport. Marlon, Sai, Ben and Sim, and a few others are going to watch that. But yeah, so have a look. Brains is probably a bit caught up, flying his lifestyle that he is as a well, I don't know what he is. It's about his life.
just picture this. Brains has got a movie about him about to be released in the cinema, and he's invited a bunch of depressing Spurs fans to come along. I wonder what you're going to be talking about.
No, we're not going to talk about Spurs. I think my question. My question. No. My question for Brains is, Brains, what did you spend all that money on, mate? Oh dear.
Oh my Lord. Guys, go check it out in the cinema. California Scheming. Go support Brains. Lubo, you can have the final say and then we'll wrap it up.
Let's see if we can get 3 points on Sunday. Come on, you Spurs.
And there you have it. Guys, thanks for watching. Smash the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be back on Monday, 4 days' time. Until then, look after yourselves and bye, Jeff.
Night all.